Hi everyone, welcome into this week's My Weekly CBS Fix. This week's video is dedicated to Nicholas and Sammy Stiglitz. Mazel tov to you on your chasana, on your wedding. May you build a beautiful home amongst the Jewish people. Mazel tov. In this week's parsha, we have a double parsha, Mattos-Masai. We'll try to say something quickly on both of them. So in the beginning, towards the beginning of Parshas Matos, so Hashem commands Moses that he should quickly make sure to take vengeance against the people of Midian, the ones who had seduced the Jewish people into sin, and then afterwards you will be gathered onto your people, meaning afterwards Moses will die. And our sages point out for us that Moshe did his last task with alacrity. He didn't delay. Now, this is, of course, pretty remarkable because Moses knew that after he did this, he would die. Nevertheless, he did it right away. So the question is, why did he do it right away? Why didn't he tarry? Why didn't he delay a little bit? So I'd like to share two quick answers with you. One answer is that Moses knew that as wonderful as life may be, it's more of a serious matter if people that bring sin to the world stay around and ruin the rest of the world, the spiritual realms of the world. And so therefore Moses knew that to have the Midianite people around in the world and allow them to continue to perpetuate wickedness was something that wasn't necessarily worth living for. It wasn't a type of life that he wanted to be in, and it wasn't the type of life that he wanted anybody to be in. And therefore it was more important for him to make sure to wipe out the Midianites and then die instead of living in a world that's an upside-down world. A second answer that I would like to share with you is that this question is only a question of why Moses didn't do it right away. It's only a question to us because, or at least to me, I got to speak for myself, because my focus is not where Moses' focus was. Moses' focus was on the world to come. He knew what was waiting for him. He had nothing to be scared of. He didn't have to be afraid of. Quite to the contrary, as our sages teach us, one moment of fun in the world to come outshines an entire lifetime of fun in this world. And so therefore, what did Moses have to lose by dying? He knew he was just transitioning into the world to come, where he would have an amazing existence. And so therefore, Moses had his eye on the prize. Last idea I want to share with you is on the next parsha, Masai, which talks about all the different travels that the Jewish people took throughout their sojourn in the desert. The Torah goes and mentions every place that they camped in all throughout there till the time they finally reached the land of Israel. And so the question is, the Torah doesn't add any extra words, so why did the Torah go ahead and tell us the seemingly trivial information about where they start, where they went from, where they stopped, where they camped, where they left, and they camped again? What's the purpose of all this? Now, I'm sure you all remember the answer we gave a couple years ago in one of the other videos about the immeasurable reward of hosting, but I'd like to share another idea with you, and that is the lesson is that we have to think about all the different stops and starts that we've had in our lifetime. Just for example, myself, I was born in St. Louis. When I was 11 years old, I moved out of St. Louis. Before that, I went to New York and I was there for camp. And when I moved from St. Louis to New Jersey, so I went to different school and I thought everything wouldn't be so amazing and everything turned out to be amazing. Then I went to high school and then I went to study in Israel, and then I got married, and then I had one kid and two kids, and then I moved to Philadelphia. Then I started working in Philadelphia, back and forth. There's many things throughout life that we have to look back, and Hashem expects us to look back and go, that time you thought maybe it wouldn't be so good, it wouldn't be worth your while. No, it was worth your while. You grew from it, you learned and experienced from whatever it is, and we have to go through all the different styles, all the different times. You know how many times I've traveled from Philly to Lakewood every single day. I have to think back at those things and thank Hashem for all those stops and starts that I was able to do, and thankfully I was able to do in a very healthy way. So we have to always also take stock of everything that we've done in our life, and Hashem wants us to reflect on all the different stations, train stations, proverbial train stations that we've made along the way as well. Look back. If we live 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 60, 70 years, we all have that responsibility to do. So as a matter of fact, if you do that, you'll actually appreciate your life a little bit more. Thank you for listening. Have an amazing, amazing Shabbos.